I'm going to talk to a theory called attachment theory. Basically, this is developed by Mary Ainsworth, again with looking at mother-child bond, and how the child attaches, connects, communicates, relates to the mother figure has a strong impact on that person's life. So there's really two steps to this attachment theory. The first part is how the child relates to the mother, how they connect, what they think of each other. And secondly is that the idea that once you have a connection with your mother, this is the same framework of relationship that people bring to future relationships. So how one treats one's girlfriend, for example, might be related by how one's parents are related. So Mary Ainsworth was interested in how children and parents and caregivers interact, and she developed what we call the strange situation. Basically, in the strange situation, a mother and child walk into a room. This is basically the room from the top up, and the mother sits in the middle. That's her right there, M for mother. And then they let the child crawl around like a little turtle. It's a little turtle, and there's lots of like toys everywhere, lots of stimulation. And so several things happen in the strange situation. First, the mother and child comes in, and the child is allowed to explore the area. And suddenly a stranger comes in. The stranger comes into the room, sits in the center with the mother, and the mother leaves. And later on, the mother comes back and the stranger leaves. So there are several things that are of interest to Mary Ainsworth when we looked at the situation. First one is the idea of exploration, how secure the child is in exploring the room. Next is the safe base, how often the child goes back to the mother when exploring. Finally, how it avoids the stranger situation. And also when the mother returns, how it acts. So mother leaving and returning, right? So there's many different things Mary Ainsworth was interested in looking. Okay, so Mary Ainsworth was interested in several occurrences in this strange situation. Basically, how often the child explores the room when it comes back to the mother, how it reacts to the stranger, how it reacts to the mother leaving, and how it reacts to when the mother returns. And so based on those different criteria, Ainsworth came up with 3 different kind of attachment style that described how the child reacted to the mother's leaving. There's the secure attachment, avoidant attachment, and the third one is the anxious ambivalent attachment. I'll go through each of these with you. So about 66% of all the children that she ran were classified as securely attached. Now, what does it mean to be securely attached? These are children who are confident in exploring their situation in the room when the parent is there. They're able to walk around fearlessly. Every now and then they'll come back and check on the parent. When the mother leaves, they feel distressed. They're kind of angry and shaken and cry a little bit. However, when the mother comes back, the child is happy to see the mother, crawls back to her, and they have a tearful mother and child reunion, right? So that's a secure attachment. In the avoidant attachment, which is about 21% of the kids, the child basically avoids the parent. They have a kind of a relationship where the child avoids it, and so will explore the environment a lot and not come back to the safe space. When the mother leaves, the child doesn't seem to be angry at all. And when the mother comes back, the child doesn't seek comfort from the mother. So that's the kind of relationship. It seems like they avoid the other person. Finally, in the third group, which is about 12%, we have the anxious and ambivalent attachment. And for this group, they have a kind of ambivalent reaction to the parent. So they have a strong love and strong hate relationship. So they may show extreme stress when the parent is leaving. They're like really angry the child's leaving. But then when the mother comes back, the child resists the parent. Like it wants to crawl back, but then will cry, and sometimes will like kind of hit the mother or bite the mother. And so it's ambivalent. It's happy and extremely angry that the mother kind of came and went. So this is a strange situation. You might think about this, like one way I like to think about this is like if you and your boyfriend or girlfriend went to a party and how you would mingle with the new people there, right? So that's kind of a strange situation. You went to a party that you don't know many people, and then you hang out with your girlfriend or boyfriend. How confidently do you kind of talk to other people in the room, other strangers, other new people? right? That's exploration. How often do you come back and check on with your girlfriend? It might be that once your girlfriend leaves and disappears, how do you feel? Are you happy or angry that she's left? So if you're in the secure and anxious attachment style, you get kind of stressed out, you're kind of nervous, anxious when your partner leaves and disappears. How do you feel when they come back? When you're securely attached, you're kind of happy that the partner comes back. You know the partner will come back, so you go back to the partner and have like a kind of a happy situation. You have a happy kind of interaction. For those who are avoidant, they don't really care that the partner left, and when they come back, they don't really care that the partner came back either. The third one is the anxious one, which is that your girlfriend comes back, right, and you're happy to see them, but you're angry at them for leaving. So you're kind of anxious and ambivalent, that you're really anxious that they left, but when they come back, you're also anxious and still yet a little happy, and so that kind of reaction is a little disorganized that way. And so when we look at the attachment theory, let me erase this. Several things come up that talk about the relationship or the psychology of the relationship. First one is the temperament. Basically, this is how easily agitated the child is. So people who are highly anxious or highly avoidant, they seem to be really, really stressed out, easily stressed out, right? So even you could tell from interacting with children, basically the temperament of the child. You might have heard people with some really easygoing babies, like me. My mother's really found me really easygoing. Or we had really fussy babies that cried all the time, colic babies, like my brother. My older brother had a kind of a high-strung temperament. So that's one thing that was actually tested in this situation, is how easily agitated is a child. Secondly, there's the idea of trust, which is the bond between the mother and child. Does the child trust the mother? So in the secure relationship, in the secure attachment, we find that the child was, even though agitated, was happy that the mother came back. A high level of trust, right? So you trust the person to come back. In the avoidant one, the trust goes the opposite way. The child kind of expects the mother not to come back, so doesn't seek comfort from her when she returns. Same thing in the anxious avoidant is a mixture of trust and distrust, where the mother comes back, and then there's a happy and angry reaction to there too. So it seems like in the secure attachment, it has the best scenario in terms of the implications for future relationships. And like I said, what they really try to extend is that the relationship you have with your mother or the caregiver, it really establishes the framework of how you interact with other people. So basically, how much you trust other people is derived from how much you trust your parents. If your parents raised you in this really disorganized, insecure place, then you might be fearful and distrustful of future relationships, right? And so they've done a few correlation studies where they looked at people's reaction in the strange situation and then tried to measure their attachment style as they grow older. What they found is there's a continuity of attachment styles. Those who are insecure back then are still insecure now. Those who are avoidant are still avoidant. Those who are secure are still secure. And that actually had some implications on the relationships they formed. They found that those who are secure had more satisfying and longer lasting adult romantic relationships, right? Those who are avoidant or anxious had much shorter, much more emotionally turbulent interpersonal relationships in the future. So it goes to show that there's a continuity, that there's a stability kind of idea, that as you grow from baby to adult, your temperament, your trust levels, your relationship with your parents, all kind of stay the same, and they have strong implications of your person-to-person interaction as you grow old.